Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey released on the Nintendo DS back in 2010. Strange Journey is often argued to be one of the best games in the SMT series due to its story, gameplay, and atmosphere. So now, almost a decade later, and as part of the 25th Anniversary Initiative, Atlus has completely remade the game for the Nintendo 3DS as Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux, with completely overhauled and redrawn art, more demons to recruit, an entire new character arc, and new dungeons to explore. So how did this remake turn out? Was it best left in the past, or has it become a strange turn of events? Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux's story for the most part is similar to that of the original DS release. A strange force is opened up in the Arctic that has been named the Schwarzwelt. You and a special task force are sent in to investigate the Schwarzwelt to discover its origins and see if you can prevent it from swallowing the entire planet. The story itself is honestly very engaging and kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time throughout the game. The more I discovered about the Schwarzwelt, the more I wanted to know about the world surrounding it. The atmosphere of this game also added a lot to the storytelling thanks to the eerie and creepy vibe that follows you the whole way, like something is just looming around the next corner. This game's story is probably the most I've ever been engaged in playing a Shin Megami Tensei game. All of the characters felt full of life, and the voice acting added a lot to the performance. There is also an entire new story arc in this game centered around the mysterious character Alex. Her story for the most part is pretty interesting and had a few twists and turns, but I won't go into it as to avoid spoilers. It should also be mentioned that, like any other Shin Megami Tensei game, there is an alignment system. During the story, you have the option to make certain choices, which will determine your alignment and the way demons will interact with you, which can make negotiating with some demons more of a pain, as demons who are towards one alignment may not be too eager to talk with you if you are in another alignment. The gameplay of SMT Redux is not that of your typical SMT game. SMT Redux plays as a DRPG as opposed to a normal JRPG, so be prepared for a lot of first-person dungeon crawling. The Schwarzwelt is broken up into several different dungeons with their own themes. You can go from a war-torn battlefield to a red light district in Tokyo. This place is truly unpredictable. What sets each dungeon apart from each other gameplay-wise is that there are many puzzles in each one. Whether it's navigating booby-trapped tiles or moving tiles that can send you across the floor, there are many things to do that can keep you on your toes. While the dungeon crawling may be different from other SMT games, the combat is pretty much the same. You still recruit and fuse demons to join your party, and the combat is as fun as ever. It is your standard turn-based fare with you controlling yourself and each demon in your party. With the many different demon types, there are infinite ways for you to build up your team, but team composition may be more important in this game than others. Unlike previous SMT entries, Strange Journey Redux does not use the traditional press system, but instead uses an alignment combo system. As mentioned earlier, SMT games are known for their alignments you can take, and if a demon attacks an enemy's weak spot, then every party member of the same alignment will follow up for additional damage. While on the surface this can lead to some pretty cool combos, it doesn't feel as fleshed out as the press system. It can also make creating team composition feel a bit odd, as depending on the story alignment you're going for, you may have to build your team accordingly to get the most out of it. All of that said, once you get a hang of it, it is really cool using it to your advantage against the enemy. In this remake of the game, there are quite a lot of things added that makes the game's quality of life all the better. New to the game is the ability to have field saves. SMT games are known for their harsh yet fair difficulties, and a game over can be right around the corner at any given time if you're not careful. The ability to save anywhere is a nice safety blanket if you feel like you're about to enter a dangerous situation. Alongside of the new character route with Alex, you get access to a completely new dungeon that centers around her. This dungeon is very expansive with its own side plot alongside the main story. You can return here for some extra grinding or hunting certain demons. Completing each floor's boss also gives you access to some pretty powerful fusions. This dungeon in and of itself felt like a mini Schwarzwelt with how big it was. It should also be noted that your actions here will also determine what additional endings you get in Alex's storyline. Other changes to the game include new art, dynamic story scenes, and new background scenery, alongside of the game being fully voiced. It should be mentioned that the game only has a Japanese dub, but the Japanese voice acting is spectacular, and, as stated earlier, adds quite a bit to the game's atmosphere. The changes end up giving the game a nice fresh coat of paint and looks a lot sharper compared to its DS counterpart. Additionally, for those of you looking for a real challenge after completing the game, try your hand at the Impossible Game mode. Also, the game has 3 new endings alongside the traditional 3 endings, so there is plenty to keep you coming back for more. One last thing I should mention is the game's soundtrack. I honestly don't know why, but the music in this game really stood out to me. Instead of the retro and techie style music from other SMT games, this game opts for a more orchestrated score, and it really fits the game's theme incredibly well. The music made a lot of boss fights and even more tense moments in the story all the more powerful to go through, which went a long way in cementing my immersion. Overall, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux is really a classic game in the JRPG and DRPG genre. From the engaging story that will really make you think at times, to the enjoyable dungeon crawling and intense combat, you have a game that fans of both genres will enjoy. Fans who have played the original Strange Journey will find plenty to do here in this remake of the game. Once again, Atlus has delivered a gem that is easily one of the best games out this year. And that does it for our review. To see the written review, be sure to check out our website, gaminggamma.com. A link to the site will be down in the description bar below. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. And if this is your first time checking out my channel via this review, hey, be sure to stick around and subscribe for future reviews, let's plays, commentaries, and more. And as always everyone, thanks for watching.